All right, welcome back, Alex's mom and my mom, to the next episode of Spinal Strength. I am your co-host, Dr. Kern Singh, board-certified orthopedic spine surgeon, joined by my co-host, who still is residing in his mother's basement, Alex Roca. So, Alex, you ready for today's topic?
No, because I'm never ready for any of these topics.
But this one I think you're going to be ready for, okay?
All
A
right.
lot of people have been talking to me about it. They haven't necessarily requested a podcast on it, but they talk about it all the time.
How to have no friends?
I mean, we are the go-to guys for that. Yes, we're the go-to guys for that. No, the topic is, and people talk about like, oh, I use it for, let me clue you in, see if you can guess the topic, okay?
All right.
It's amazing. I feel younger by 10 years. It takes care of my hangovers.
I feel like I know, but I don't know.
We're going to do saunas and cold plunges, right?
Yes.
That's all the rage, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it is. You're right. You are right.
Probably two of the most overhyped, over Instagram topics right now. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Contrast therapy.
Yes. Well, we'll get into contrast therapy, but you
yeah.
know, the every Instagrammer, ice bath, ice this. Oh man, it's changed my life. Got ripped on it. I'm a Navy SEAL now. Sauna, this, that, right? So
Yeah.
let's start with cold plunge and the cold plunge craze. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, people voluntarily suffer hypothermia before breakfast, right? You see all these influencers do hard things, ice cube bath, right?
Yep.
Are you old enough to remember one of the greatest series of all time, Seinfeld? Did you ever watch Seinfeld?
You know what? I was not I was a Friends person.
Yeah, of course you were, man.
Yeah.
Of course you were. Yeah. Simplistic humor. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, Seinfeld had an episode, George Costanza, which is Larry David. Larry David, you know, the creator of Seinfeld, basically modeled himself as George Costanza. Costanza was after him. But he talks about shrinkage, coming out of a pool. And so a woman, you know, so it was shrinkage, right? So we're going to jump into cold plunge.
All right.
So, what do you know about cold plunges? And actually, forget that. Have you done a cold plunge?
Yeah. But I never subscribed to the daily cold plunging hysteria.
Okay.
I primarily used cold plunging before it was what it is now, and I more or less used it in college as a way to ice down my shoulder after pitching because I'd get fully submerged, and it was easier than strapping all these ice bags on. So that was really my introduction to cold
I don't
plunging.
think the fans really know, but Alex was a D4 underhand wiffle ball pitcher. Okay, so that's what is that. Did I get that right, Alex?
Yeah, that's correct. 100% correct. Thank you.
By the way, for our followers, our 42 followers, we're now on the negative trajectory. We're losing followers. Have you ever seen the crazy throws they do on wiffle ball?
Yeah, there's a whole. I just actually saw a clip from like a league. It's actually insane.
Insane.
It's
the
nuts.
angles and the like.
Yep.
It's crazy. For those who have not seen, highly recommend. But Alex you play at Davidson, right?
DePaul in Indiana.
DePaul.
Yeah.
That's right, DePaul. You were pitcher. Mm-hmm. Starting pitcher.
Yeah. Well, 2 years as a closer, 2 years as a starter.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you can see that. You know, people do. You see that professional athletes icing down their knees, their shoulders afterwards. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about some of the science.
Okay.
Very good science. Cold plunging reduces inflammation, and that was shown as early as Journal of Physiology in 2015. Mm-hmm. So we have 10 years on that. Now, do you know what temperature you need to get to have an anti-inflammatory effect?
The internal, or sorry, that like to be in what water?
The water bath, the water ice bath.
40,
Because it's
sub
not
40?
purely ice, right? The water is the conductive medium for it. So
Probably
what are you saying?
sub 40.
Yeah, so around 50 degrees.
Yeah.
And that can reduce post-muscle soreness and inflammation.
All right.
What else does it do?
It makes you age faster.
Well, we'll talk about that. It reduces.
Isn't it a brown? It can help brown fat. It can activate that. You use fat to basically as energy to keep you warm, to keep your vital organs warm.
So
There's a brown fat element to it.
That actually is my myth number one.
Ah, crap.
Cold plunges do not burn fat.
Actually, okay, go ahead. I have something to add.
There's a theoretical thing that brown fat get activated, increases caloric burn slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But the science behind that is 200 calories over 10 minutes, right? So, the amount of caloric burn is very little. So you're not going to burn meaningful fat, right?
And
does that make sense?
Yes.
And? Go ahead.
And recent studies have actually shown that because after people do a cold plunge, they actually go and end up overeating.
Yeah,
after.
so that's right. That is right. There's some that get an appetite stimulant out of it, right? So then you're in the cold plunge for 90 seconds, 2 minutes. You burn an extra 40 calories, 30 calories, and then the Snickers bar that you had 200 calories, and you're calorically positive.
Yep.
But let's go back to something. There is some science to it. So I don't want to come off as saying it's dismissive. The risk-benefit ratio is very favorable in this treatment. Like, unless you have a cardiac issue, unless you have something like, you're not going to put your body in some kind of harm. So it has been shown to reduce things called cytokines. And there's one called interleukin-6. So cytokines are inflammatory mediators, and there's good evidence to suggest that it decreases those anti-inflammatory mediators. So that inflammation process you talked about. There's a whole host of ways why this could work. Vasoconstriction, narrowing of blood vessels, and we're going to kind of go beyond the scope of our audience for that. But in general, there is an anti-inflammatory effect. But you're not burning fat. The brown fat activation, the number of caloric burning is very little to that. What else does it do? Why do people do it?
People do it for the recovery benefits of reducing the inflammation.
No, we live in an immediate gratification society. Okay, no one does it for these things. Okay, unless you got the weirdo. Everyone has the weirdo friend that's only eating 14 berries, some goju berries, this, that, right, and then they have relatives that pass away at 38. It's like, or they pass away. It doesn't. That's not.
Well, you're asking me why people do it. The people that I know that do it swear by the fact that it helps their body recover from intense workouts.
Okay, but I'm talking about. Do you know anyone actually that's employed? Any of your friends employed? Are they actually productive members of society, or they're just CrossFitters? They save all their money for CrossFit.
That's a good point. This is a good point.
Yes, right. Yeah. So
it's a social club then.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So people do it because there is a 100% euphoric release and alertness from it. Oh. And why do you get that euphoria? Like, you people feel high. They feel on top of the world, right?
Yeah, because of the shock.
Well, it releases norepinephrine and dopamine, right?
Oh, okay.
Dopamine and norepinephrine are stimulants. So you got this now hyper-focus, alertness, and euphoria. You feel amazing. I mean, I've done it. It's the problem with it is the cold plunge. It's hard to have a cold plunge bath. And if you're going to do it in some gym, I don't want to be in some nasty ass plunging bath with a bunch of dudes. I don't know, man.
Well, they've got they have. There are companies that have a filtered one that you can buy for $4,000 or $5,000 or more.
No. Well, if you have your own one, fine. But talk about the public, cold plunge. It's like
it's a giant garbage can, and I'm going to
lose about 45 of our followers by saying it's a similar concept to taking a bath. I've never understood that concept. You take a bath?
No, I haven't
No.
taken a bath.
You don't take a bath because you're not a granola, okay? So
Yeah.
taking a bath and then you just stew in your own filth, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
kind of
where does
gross.
it, like, you like scrub yourself, you scrub the boys down, you scrub whatever it is, and then you just sit there and just soak it all up. Right? Oh, this is the best. Now, I could see the concept of if you showered and then took a
Sure.
bath and then rinsed off or something to that effect,
Yeah.
still
Well,
floating
and
around, okay? And like,
and
you're gonna jump in.
everybody is doing this immediately following
Yes.
their sweaty workout.
That's right.
And it's like, and then I get in, let me get in for 2 minutes, then you get in for two
That's right.
minutes.
That's right.
So
So,
nobody's doing the
I'm
pre-shower.
gonna have I have one claim to fame, and my
Okay.
kids and my wife can back this up. I do not stink when I sweat. So certain people have like a scent. So believe it or not, in general, I don't wear deodorant, and my wife actually didn't believe it when she married me like 16 years ago, and she can attest to
What?
that. Yes, isn't that crazy?
You have a problem. You must have a weird issue.
Oh, weird issue, man. Whatever it is, it's the
Wow.
genetic benefits of being an Indian. Well, Indian males in general typically stink. Okay, I'm going to say that, but I am the exception. I go through. It takes me for a deodorant stick and a cologne bottle. It takes one cologne bottle will take me about 5 or 6 years to go through.
Wow.
Yeah. So
nuts.
that's my claim. That's my claim to fame. So going back to this, jumping in the cold plunge, actually you get a euphoria. There's no doubt about it. There's very good evidence, norepinephrine, dopamine release, and mental focus, alertness, hyper alertness is definitely associated. Think about that. An equivalent would be, and it's not necessarily as cold, but equivalent would be jumping into a pool, right?
Yeah. Jumping into the lake.
Yeah, jumping into the lake. And that's
I
what
do that.
swimmers get that. You do that?
I jump in. I don't like. Well, I'll put it this way.
What
Sometimes
lake
in
are
my
you
long
jumping
run,
into? Huh? What lake are you jumping in?
Lake Michigan.
With all the other sewage there? Huh?
Yeah, jump in after
Okay.
my runs, and it's
you
cold,
really?
and I'll take my shoes off. I'll jump in. Then I'll put my shoes on and jog home.
But this is summertime.
Yeah, this is summertime. I mean,
You're
water.
not doing wintertime. You're not doing that polar plunge or whatever.
No, that's dangerous because if you lose some motor function, bye bye.
All right. Well, so my take on cold plunges is that there are anti-inflammatory benefits and there are euphoric benefits with very little downside. Safe to do. Keep on doing it. If you feel comfortable with someone else's junk in the ice bath before yours, go for it. Not for me, but now I've seen that there's actually you can convert your own bathtub into a ice bath, cold plunge. They have these kits. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they have these kits to do it. So that's something to look into.
Interesting.
Let's close the cold plunge and then tie in the sauna with it with this fact or fiction.
Okay.
Cold plunging boosts immunity.
No, fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Maybe it enhances an immune response. Maybe the science is soft, but it's not going to prevent you from getting the flu. It's not going to prevent
No.
you from getting the cold. It's not going to do any of those things. We've already covered you and your buddies and the anti-vaxxers. It's not going to prevent you from getting measles, mumps, rubella, smallpox. I know, and I know now you can't take your Tylenol anymore because Dr. Trump has told you can't take it. So you're like, you can't take anti-inflammatories. You just got to cold plunge everything, right?
Yeah. Natural.
So that's it. That's it. You're natural, man. All
Yeah.
natural. I love it.
natural.
I love it. So let's flip, and then we're going to come back to it.
right.
Let's talk about saunas. Do you sauna?
That I do relatively regularly, probably 3 to 4 times a week.
Saunas have been around forever. Let's credit the Scandinavian countries for that gift to humanity, right? So, what do you know, science-wise, about saunas? I had to look this one up, so I'm cheating on this.
Yeah.
one.
So I had looked it up a while back, and The only thing I can actually remember is that it can help release shock proteins. Am I onto something here?
Yeah, I think that it basically what it does is it reproduces a low grade stress, like a
Right.
mild cardiac event. So this is the study that I looked up, JAMA, which is one of the highest impact journals, Journal of American Medical Association. I know you don't believe in Fauci and the science, so this is right. This is kind of the equivalent of that. So just JAMA. Well, you ever see that Facebook meme? I think we talked about it, the other one. Like, hey, let's not trust your buddy that was the valedictorian that went off to medical school, but let's trust the other buddy that didn't go to college and is on the internet now for the science. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean it's pretty funny. Okay, so JAMA, they looked at those people who did saunas anywhere from 4 to 7 times a week had a decreased risk of sudden cardiac death. So
Yeah.
it's 2,000 people over 20 years. Basically, what it was is mild cardio stimulation, increased heart rate, improved vascular health.
Yeah.
So they found significant cardiac benefit from that. So let's say this. Let me ask you this: fact or fiction? Saunas can reduce blood pressure. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact. Fact. That's right. They do it by releasing nitric oxide and vasodilation. Have you seen, this goes to our pre-workout mix, nitric oxide. That's the pump, right?
Right.
People want to see the veins bulging, whatever, right?
Right.
When you're taking your 14 selfies to get the one to send out, right? You're like, right, the angles, and you're squeezing hard, doing the whatever it is, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm not going to admit it, but yeah.
How many girls when you go on dates, what percentage of girls you go on dates take the selfie while you're on the date? They take it.
I have not experienced that yet
Really?
on the date. No.
No?
But maybe 8 seconds after they cut the date short with me and leave and they're outside, then they'll do it.
After you get, hey, let me get the bill real quick. Okay. And they're running out. Oh, my Uber's here. I gotta go. Thanks,
Free
Alex.
dinner.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I see it all the time though. I see it all the time.
There is this trend of it's called the 0.5. So you take your phone and you put it on 0.5 and you go like this, and you're running, you're walking. It's a thing now. I don't participate very often,
All right.
but
Well, saunas do detoxify your body. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fact.
Really?
Really?
And this is the garbage, and even my buddies say all the time, I'm hungover. Gotta get to the sauna. Sweating does not release those toxins. You have 2 capable organs for that. You have liver and your kidney. That's what does it. Okay?
Yeah.
And hangovers are more due to GABA and GABA release and surges, and we can talk about that. We're actually going to talk about hangovers probably in some episode. But yes, sweating your pores is mainly a little bit of salt and a lot of water. So it's not improving you. It's not improving
Probably
that.
will make you feel worse because it'll dehydrate you.
That's right. It's a placebo effect for those who get the improvement. I'm not disputing that they get the improvement, but there's not a scientific basis for it. So it's not going to remove the toxins. Your liver and kidneys are going to have to work for doing that. Fact or fiction? Saunas can help reduce blood pressure.
Fact.
Fact. That is true.
Yeah.
That's talking about the endorphin release. Now, we're not talking about if you're hypertensive, doing a sauna is going to change that, right?
Yeah. Right.
You're either rubbing your dog or you're doing something inappropriate on the podcast.
Oh no, I'm keeping my dog from being calm, or keeping him calm.
You were just violently jerking, and I was just making sure it wasn't because we're a PG podcast.
No, he was getting all rowdy, so I
Yeah,
I was telling
I
him
was
to
worried
calm
about the
down.
rowdiness, but I'm glad you
Yeah.
clarified that there was a dog involved. I got that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last fact or fiction before we go into contrast therapy.
Okay.
The hotter the better.
I'm gonna say false on that one.
That's
That's
right.
fiction.
Fiction. What's the
Yeah.
optimal temperature and time?
140 degrees for a time could be anywhere from probably 20 to 40 minutes.
160 to 190. 15 to
Really?
20 minutes. And they've been looking at this in several. Well, listen, you may have personal preference, but the benefits of vasodilation, some mild cardiac increase, and not dehydrating and fainting as you wait
Yeah.
is in that sweet spot in that temperature, 15 to 20 minutes. Staying in there longer is not going to help you. And
What about
dehydration.
the difference between I get this the sauna at my gym is not an infrared sauna, it's just a sauna, it's just hot.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 180 degrees in there. I've done individual infrared saunas that only get up to 145 degrees, but the infrared light that's used is supposedly penetrates deeper and has different effects. Is it we're talking about the contrast between those two different types of saunas? Because that's sort of a trendy thing is infrared versus just it being super hot in the sauna.
Yeah, so you have like different types of thermal heaters. You have conduction heaters and you have infrared sending that bit of energy that when it contacts you, that's the heat that you're feeling. So those are great for targeting somebody as opposed to heating the area up, right, which is going to be conduction. So conduction would be or convection, which would be warming the air versus the
Okay.
infrared striking your body there. Yeah, I don't know if the science differentiates between the two of it. Like infrared is
Just marketing.
easier. Well, no, it's also easier because you don't have to have a whole dedicated area. You can have, it can be a little
Yeah.
bit more cost efficient to make. So I think that's more of the benefit. I don't think I have the ability or the knowledge to discern or to determine the difference. Maybe you should ask one of your unemployed CrossFit buddies for the science and get back to us in the next episode.
Okay, we'll do.
All right. So you mentioned something, contrast therapy. So that's
Yeah.
the new rage, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Hot, cold, cold, hot, what?
I'm not sure which comes first, but I think usually people do cold, so they'll cold plunge for their 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and then they'll go sit in the sauna right after, and sort of exposing the body to those two extremes is supposed to have good physiological benefits.
Yeah, I think in general what's done is because people are doing it at the gym, so they're going to work out, overheat, cold plunge, then sauna. The science is still soft on whatever you want to do, but that's in general, I think, what the current trend is. You're working out, cold plunge, 90 minutes, and then you sauna. So,
Yeah.
there's some studies that suggest because the heat dilates and then the cold constricts, that there's some studies that suggest that it reduces soreness, improves circulation, improves recovery. But these are small cohorts. But you're not doing any harm. So you're not doing any harm.
Yeah, but it's almost the same. It's sort of the same theory of icing a joint. For instance, you constrict the blood flow, and then when you remove the cold stimulus, you get an expansion of the blood vessels, and you get a rush of blood to the area, and it's bringing nutrients. And by doing that on and off that technique, that's how you're helping, recover that joint.
Yeah, I
or
will
that
say
injury
though
or whatever.
the icing of the joint also is for those to reduce inflammatory effusions in the joint by vasoconstriction. So you saw Michael
Sure.
Jordan at the end of his career starting to do that when he was getting effusions, had to have his knee drained and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's now more commonly done. Listen, there's no downside, right?
Yeah.
Except that you get that cold burning. You're like, oh man, then you get used to it. But there's no downside. I mean, there's very little downside to any of this. So unlike supplements, unlike protein powders, etc., here there is very little downside. So I would not challenge it. If you get a high, you enjoy it, by all means, hot, cold, cold. But let's not overdo what the science is. So the cold increases dopamine, norepinephrine, your heightened alertness, enhanced focus, the heat, there's some studies that suggest it may increase growth hormone, and it does on a consistent basis on the studies. It has shown to improve sleep.
Yeah, and that's honestly why again, this whether this is placebo or science, that's what I've enjoyed about it is I usually go lift in the evenings. After my lift, I'll 20 minutes of sauna. I come home, I shower, I'm in bed, usually not too long after that, and I feel like I'm sort of exhausted to that point, and it helps me fall asleep.
Yeah.
Whether or not that there's science helping there, I don't know, but that feeling does help me.
So let's go back to this. Cold plunging, hot sauna, I have no problem with alternating, whatever you want to do. We're going to finish this off with a couple of rapid fire back and forth, okay? Myth fact.
All right.
Cold plunges build muscle.
No.
That's correct. But there is a surge of growth hormone, but that does not necessarily lead to muscle growth. But you hear people talking about that, especially on Instagram. That is not
cold plunge or sauna with the growth hormone?
Cold plunge.
Cold plunge, okay.
Yes, cold plunge. Saunas increase growth hormone. I mistake. Saunas increase growth hormone, but you hear people talk about cold plunging building muscle. Saunas burn fat.
No.
What? That's correct. It's false.
Yeah.
You're not burning any fat. Any weight you've lost is dehydration, right? Maybe some mild increase. We talked about that mild cardiac increase activity, but very nominal calorically, but potentially cardiac health benefit. Cold plunges improve longevity.
No.
Unproven. Maybe. We don't know. Maybe. What's going on with your dog back there, man? He needs your hand? I mean,
no.
Huh?
Stop.
Whoa.
Stop it.
I mean, we can't have that on the video, okay? All right?
Stop it. Stop. All right.
This is how high budget. We have no sponsors, and we got a dog in the basement detracting from our podcast, okay? Seriously. Cold plunges improve mental toughness.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some good data that focus and withstanding nociceptive stimuli, which is pain, improves. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think there could be some validity to that. Sauna, we covered this one, but I'm asking again because it's a big one. Saunas cure hangovers.
No.
That's right. That's right. False. Saunas, cold plunges, which has the better health benefit?
I'm going to say saunas have the better health benefits. Actual scientific benefits versus just how it makes you feel.
Unproven either. Meaning they both may provide different benefits. They're definitely not detrimental.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
So bottom line, here's my take on it. Here's our take from cold plunges and saunas. Please do them. If you enjoy them, if you get a euphoric sensation, if you get a high from them, there is very, very little downside. The upside may be improved cardiac benefits, especially with saunas, improved mental focus, acuity, and euphoria with a cold plunge, potential anti-inflammatory benefits from the cold plunge. But don't use the sauna as a methodology for treating your hangover. That's not going to work. If you're using it for longevity, maybe. There's no downside, so I would encourage you, if you have access and time, please do so. The other one, fact or fiction. Here's the last one I'm going to ask for before we end it, Alex. Putting your junk on the Planet Fitness countertop improves longevity.
Unproven.
Unproven.
Investigating.
That's right. Ladies, that's where you can find my boy Alex Roca, Planet Fitness countertop. Him and his buddies just hanging out, okay? So on that note, another informative, highly educational and scientific session on cold plunging and saunas. I hope that everyone found that enjoyable, and stay tuned for our next episode.